On this edition of the Sports Desk, we wrap up the best moments of the sports season with the Torrance Tartars. First, from the girls soccer team to the baseball team, Torrance was lights out all year. Who else makes the cut? Plus, the North High Saxons are home to some great athletes. We're going to tell you who is going where for school. And the NFL might have a lockout, but the Sports Desk breaks down some spring football. Can you guess who's got the best chance in the fall? And Torrance Little League closes out its season in style. Check it out on this edition. It starts right now. Welcome to the Sports Desk. I'm your host, Bonnie Prickitt. The school year has officially ended, but we are going to continue to highlight the best and the brightest. Let's go ahead and get started. The Torrance High fall sports schedule started a little slow with the girls golf team, but they kept the Tartars on the upswing, and the winter brought the Tartars a couple of more championships, rolling them into the spring, where the Tartars ended strong. Ghazal Hassan takes us on this journey.
Strike up pomp and circumstance and get those caps and gowns ready. It's the end of the year sports special here on the Sports Desk, focusing on the Tartars of Torrance High School. The Tartars won 7 Pioneer League titles this year and had several teams advance into the CIF playoffs. We'll bring you all those highlights from the year on this special report about the Torrance Tartar team, ranging from the fall to the winter and into the spring. All the sports and all the athletes from the Tartars carrying on the rich tradition of the maroon and white. The football team for the Tartars battled some injuries and inconsistent play early to finish 2-7-1, but did have standout performances from the likes of Tyrone Taylor, Dylan Abel, and Ralphie Ramirez. The girls volleyball team struggled a bit in the Pioneer League, finishing 4-12 in league play, but were competitive in most matches. Closing out the fall schedule for Torrance High School was the girls golf team. Not only did they win the Pioneer League title, they clinched both sectional and regional championships in CIF, their third consecutive CIF Southern Section Championship under coach Devin Cucci. Moving to the winter season, the Tartars added to the trophy case with a Pioneer League championship in girls soccer. There's Cortland Cerrito putting one in the net. She got a lot of help on the other end from senior goalkeeper Emily Pryor, along with the new head coach at Torrance High, Jim Millender. Another Pioneer League championship for the Torrance Tartar wrestling team. We see Eric Carrillo here. He was league champ at 135 pounds. Shay Kendig, the head coach for the Tartars, his first league title in his 5 years at Torrance High. And we certainly can't forget the Tartar girls basketball team behind head coach Rick Momahara. They finished in a 3-way tie for first place, and their season culminated in a thrilling double overtime playoff win over West. The Torrance boys team did not win the Pioneer League. They actually finished in a tie for third place, but they did advance to the CIF playoffs. And they also, along with the girls, got an opportunity to play at the Staples Center. Brandon Gardner there with the layup. Tartar boys basketball team. The boys soccer team battled in a very tough Pioneer League, being extremely competitive against the top 2 leagues in the conference, those being North and South. Moving to the spring, it was the Tartar softball team. They did not win the Pioneer League, in fact ended up in a tie for second, which got them into the CIF playoffs, and that's where their magic run began. They went all the way to the quarterfinals before losing to Bishop Amat, won 15 of their last 20 regular season games and 3 playoff games under head coach Don Glavich. The Torrance baseball team again won the Pioneer League after finishing second last year behind El Segundo. They were led by senior shortstop Trent Gilbert, who ended up being drafted by the Florida Marlins, and also by senior right-hander Ralphie Ramirez, who won 9 of his 10 starts and posted a 2.16 earned run average. Their last home playoff game, the Tartars won in thrilling fashion, walk-off fashion on a wild pitch, and reached the quarterfinals of the CIF playoffs. Coach Ollie Turner's decade at Torrance has been one of dominance.
Thanks out to Ghazal Hassan for that breakdown, and we are going to be highlighting those athletes that are continuing their career in college on scholarship. Although the Tartars have a plethora of talent graduating this year, and Chaywan Park will be at Cal State Long Beach playing golf, and uber-talented soccer player Cortland Cerrito is going on to Cal State up there in Chico. And Torrance's star goalie, Emily Pryor, is also headed up north to San Jose State University. Nathan Kang is going to Wisconsin to hit the mats at the Maranthana Baptist Bible College. And Trent Gilbert of the famed Torrance Tartars baseball team was drafted in the MLB, but is going for an education first as a Wildcat at U of A. Congrats out to all of the Torrance athletes on your accomplishments this year, and good luck next year. Coming up after the break, we highlight one more Torrance school, so stick around.
Green, green, green. It's your home, it's your dream. Radon testing, keep it healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green.
Making it green starts from the ground up, so make sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Test your home for the presence of radon. Go to epa.gov/radon.
Make it green, green, green.
We are the Boston Red Sox from Torrance Little League, and you're watching the Sportsdesk.
Welcome back. One school down for the highlights, 4 to go, and now it's Saxon time. North started strong in the fall with Croce's crew taking second in the Pioneer League in football. And in the winter, the hardwood squads did the heavy lifting for the Saxons. For the second half of the year, North could boast of an undefeated team in the league play, and Ghazal Hassan has more.
Both expectations and spirits were high when the fall dawned at North High School. The Saxons geared up for an exciting 2010-2011 season, which saw multiple teams make the CIF playoffs, as well as a couple of teams that won Pioneer League championships. Also, several standout athletes etched their names in the rock at Torrance High School, ranging in a variety of sports on both the girls and the boys' side. Variety of successes and interesting stories for the Saxons, from the mat to the field to the court to the pitch. We'll review them all in this year-end review for the North Saxons athletic program. The 2010-2011 season was particularly strong for Saxon athletics. Todd Croce's football team finished second in the Pioneer League and managed to qualify for the CIF. They lost a key late-season battle against South, but were still into the playoffs due to their outstanding performance overall in league play. The Saxons lost their first-round matchup to San Ynez 28-14, but have laid a strong foundation for the future. The girls' volleyball team also reached the CIF playoffs, finishing third in the Pioneer League and bowed out in the first round, but were successful and have a number of players coming back for next season. The boys' soccer team won the Pioneer League with an 8-0-2 record led by Claudio Rodriguez here with the goal. They won their first-round playoff matchup in a shootout, but were knocked out of the playoffs in the second round of the CIF. But overall, still a very successful season on the pitch for the Saxons. The wrestling team ended up second in the Pioneer League, but had a champion of its own in their midst, 103-pounder Johnson Mai. And the Saxons had won the previous 10 Pioneer League titles, so their future is bright. The basketball team, another Pioneer League title for the Saxons, 9-1 in league play on the boys' side, led by Darren Hechanova, Elliot Morris, among others. Here's Hechanova slashing to the bucket in a thrilling game he won against El Segundo on this buzzer beater. He calls bank, and the Saxons win it. The Saxon girls also won the Pioneer League title in a three-way tie, an 8-2 record in conference play. They also advanced to the CIF playoffs behind Tina Gross. They were led by, among others, senior forward Jocelyn Barnes, who is a standout as she hits the jumper here. The boys' volleyball team did not make the CIF playoffs, but they did lay a foundation for a bright future. As the program definitely headed in the right direction, they remain competitive against some very strong competition in the Pioneer League and some out-of-league tournaments as well. So the boys in blue should have high hopes coming up in 2011 and 2012. Same can be said of the girls for North Torrance. Only 2 wins in 2011, but again laid a strong foundation for upcoming seasons. Some young players got some valuable experience and will be counted on to lead the Saxons in future seasons. The baseball team finished in a third-place tie with South in the Pioneer League, setting up a tiebreaker, which the Saxons won on back-to-back home runs in the bottom of the seventh in dramatic fashion. Brandon Gidding was one of the leaders for the Saxon team, along with pitcher Hayden Weir. First baseman Dalton Erb stepped up, as did shortstop Jack Kennedy for Mike DiMaria's club. And wrapping it up for the year, the Lady Saxons on the softball field went 10-0 in Pioneer League play en route to the CIF playoffs. Talk about closing it out strong for North High School. Overall, a very successful year in 2010 and 2011 for the Saxons.
Thanks out to Ghazal Hassan for that again. And it's a great year for the Saxons. Soccer player Sean Nagano is headed to Cal State Dominguez on a scholarship. And stellar first baseman Alex Perez, always a lot of fun to interview her. She is taking her talents to Pittsburgh State University in Kansas. And you don't have to go far to cheer on Stephanie, who's also another Saxon standout. She's at Cal State University Dominguez. And last week we told you all about Jocelyn Barnes going to Kansas State. And Preston Lewis is a Bruin now, as he will be on their track and field team. Congrats to all of you, and good luck next year. Coming up after the break, we've got an in-studio guest in Keenan Singleton, and we're going to talk some football. The prep football players are allowed to do some things that the NFL players aren't allowed to do. Stick around.
I assess the needs of a community to make sure that our work will be sustainable.
We are working to change the world to make it a better place.
Through our sustainable engineering projects, thousands of members in more than 225 universities and professional chapters work to support these efforts in over 45 countries.
To find out more about how you can get involved, go to www.ewb-usa.org and click Get Involved.
Build a better world with us.
Build a better world with us.
Build a better world with us, one community at a time.
80.
30.
50. Every mile brings us closer.
25.
Every mile in a city near you.
75.
Help us stop diabetes.
100.
Join the Tour de Cure.
60.
Register to ride.
36.
Or sponsor a rider.
50.
Call 1-888-DIABETES or visit us online at diabetes.org/tour. How many miles will you ride?
25.
And welcome back to the Sports Desk, and welcome back to Keenan Singleton, who we've got in studio today.
Bonnie, thank you again for having me back. It's always a pleasure to be down in Torrance and to be working with the Sports Desk.
Yeah, how have you been?
I've been doing well. I'm in Southern California. Can't beat that.
I know. And some other teams did well last fall as far as football. The South Spartans, undefeated in the Pioneer League, quite a season.
North and Torrance also did pretty well in the league as well. North making it to the playoffs. Torrance, there's always this year.
That's right. And, of course, West tried in the Bay League, but they also did make the playoffs. But there was another team that was exciting last year.
Bishop Montgomery, Delray League play, undefeated. I'm really excited about what Edge Hotchkiss is doing down there. Again, we'll see what happens this year.
Yeah, let's stop talking about last year. Let's now talk about football, the NFL lockout. Lots of people not having a lot to talk about. But you and I got a chance to go out to a few spring practices. Very exciting.
Definitely. Spring football is always a good time, so let's take a look at what we got. Turn the page. It's a task every football team must undertake in the offseason, and it's no different here for the prep teams in Torrance. No matter if you tasted postseason success like South, North, or the Bishop Montgomery Knights, or we're home for the holidays like Torrance and West, the offseason is where new chapters are written and new stories are formed. Find out how every team is taking this season to spring forward. At South, they're hoping to pass this prologue. 7 points the margin between the Spartans and the CIF Southern Section Northwest Division title. What do Josh Waybright and South have in store for 2011? Well, according to Waybright, the Spartans showed they still have plenty of talent left in stock during spring ball. Yes, they'll have to replace the cornerstones of last year's 12-2 team, Eric Capicchione, Dylan Redondo, and 5 members of that Vaughn and front 7. But quarterback Kevin McMahon is now leading a talented senior class into the future. Waybright saying McMahon now has the keys to the offense, and they won't look back to last season's success. Waybright came out of Friday's spring game happy with several players that made the leap from JV. Colton Glandorf, younger brother of former South star Tyler, Brandon Luera, and John Seiko are now the running backs by committee. Ryan Bowman, Ian Bonata, and Kyle Nesbitt are now anchoring the defense that shined during the scrimmage. Also keep an eye out for Drew Lawrence, a receiver from last year's CIF runner-up. On the gridiron, there are 2 seasons, football and spring football. All the pain and the anguish of the former finally giving way to the promise of the latter. Because in the spring, it's not how you finish, but rather how you start. And it's no different here in Torrance, where the Friday night spotlights finally shine anew. After a dozen spring practices, Todd Croce and his North High Spartans are ready for another run at the Pioneer League title.
The coaches have been great with them all spring, and they've really responded well to them. And both sides of the football, the offensive, defensive line, but I think our O-line coming together really nicely right now.
That O-line has one job, making holes for number one, senior Ryan McDaniel, North's number one option in 2011.
Ryan's our leader. He's our guy. He's busting his butt as much as anybody, and he's the guy that everybody's looking up to have a fantastic senior year, and we're expecting that out of him.
Junior receiver Devontae Jenkins hasn't put on the pads since Pop Warner, but Croce expects the basketball star to be a quick study.
Devontae's been in the gym playing basketball, and he's a great athlete, and he's stepped out on the field, and he's getting used to it slowly but surely, but he's going to be a presence, I think, in the fall.
Forever the optimist, Rock Hollis forecasts a brighter future for his Tartars. Winners of just 2 games in each of the last 2 seasons.
I think our guys have improved, matured, and most of them are juniors. So I'm pretty excited about those guys. They are stronger and faster and quicker and meaner, I hope. One good thing that happened yesterday is Tyrone Taylor, now that baseball unfortunately is over, he came out for the first time yesterday and made us very happy. Such a physical specimen, quick and fast, and he can catch, he can do it all.
And now directing the misdirection offense known as the double wing T, quarterback Jacob Kalama, who played DN last season.
Crazy. He's throwing the ball really well. You can see right now he's throwing the ball very well in the wind, against the wind. So this is going to enable us to pass more if we decide to do that, because he's really got a great arm, and he's a tough kid. He played defensive end for us last year, and he was the backup quarterback for the varsity, and he was our JV quarterback, and he had a good season.
Now that good season won't happen unless Hollis's defense can improve on last season, where the Tartars allowed a woeful 37 points per game.
All starts up front, and as I said, if we have improvement up front with the tackles and the ends, that just makes everybody else play better, because then that affects your middle linebackers, it affects the safety and your corners. So I think just that alone, just the fact that we've got that much more maturity and strength, it's really going to improve us.
West also looking for some in-home improvement. The Warriors 3-7 a year ago, banking on some fresh faces for some fresh results.
Without saying names, we've got some guys that need to be able to fill in. They're good athletes, they're good football guys, they understand the game, but like you're talking about, the experience factor is going to be critical. The beginning of the season is going to be a big laboratory for them, and they have to be able to learn on the run. And the speed of varsity football is quite a bit different than freshman football. Both these guys, Joey's knowledge of the game, his experience, and then Zach's work ethic, and it's going to be a battle. And Zach throws the ball well, Joey throws the ball real well. He's starting to get into his form. When you come out of baseball, it's a different ball, but he's starting to throw some real good balls. I look for either one of those guys could win games for us, and so I'll be real interested to see how that plays out. They both like each other. They're both great players. Joey's an excellent free safety for us, and so we've got a bright future there.
Have Barry, will carry. Barry Thomas returns to give the Warriors an equalizer in the backfield.
Yeah, Barry's a load for us, I think. We expect him to be, he's not the fastest guy that's going to be playing in the South Bay, but he's got a little combination of a little bit of speed, but he's got some power behind him. And he really worked hard in the weight room. He's one of those guys that, you can see his body change when he gets in the weight room and he comes out. He's a physical dude, so we think that he's going to be a guy that can carry the ball for us, if we have to, 30 times a game.
And it was back to basics for the Bishop Montgomery Knights this spring. Coach Ed Hotchkiss and the defending Delray League champs, focused on weight and speed training, now playbooks and route running. With some 90% of the offense, including running back Nolan Plummer and wide receiver Pierre Wise in caps and gowns, Hotchkiss has had to make over the offense. The second-year coach high on Louis Soto, a 6'2", 200-pound sophomore transfer from Sarah. Hotchkiss high on the Knight defense heading into the summer. Miles Howard and Tyler Gallee lead a secondary unit expected to pick up the slack for an offense potentially short on playmakers. The present may pose its share of problems, but with 40 incoming freshmen, the future is nothing if not bright, for the Knights.
North High Tartars, eh, Keenan?
Yeah, just about as good as those Bishop Montgomery Tartars or those West Knights.
Well, regardless of the mascots, there are definitely some talented football players that have come out at the city of Torrance in the last couple years. This year's class, not so many scholarship athletes, but there's one that's going to SMU.
Yeah, Christian Holloway, the DN from Bishop Montgomery, a really big kid, really like his size. He's a little bit raw, but, after a couple of years with June Jones, who knows where his ceiling ends.
And let's see, there's also Pierre Wise.
Pierre Wise, another big receiver. Receiver from Bishop Montgomery, 6'4", long, angular, able to make a catch in any crowd. I'm really excited to see what he does at the next level at Western Nevada State.
That's right, and I think there might be a few others that maybe haven't committed, and once they do, we'll let you know. Thanks so much for coming in today. Anything else you want to say about spring football?
Spring football, no pads, but there's still a lot to learn. Guys, keep working hard. See you in the fall.
All right. Thanks so much for coming in and joining us. Coming up after the break, we've got more coming your way. Little League in Torrance is doing better than the rest of the economy here in California. Let's see how they rebounded.
I'm bored. I think I'll ride my bike.
It may never be this easy to help your kids find balance, but you have more power than you know. For a free Parent's Handbook plus other resources, visit the WeCan website. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Time was, kids did what came naturally, spending free time running through the grass, exploring streams. But times have changed. Today's indoor kids spend more than 7 hours in front of electronic media. That's why National Wildlife Federation created the Be Out There movement. Outdoor play improves kids' health, body, mind, and spirit. It helps them stay fit, enhances creativity, and could even make them better students. There's a reason they call it the great outdoors. Learn more at beoutthere.org.
Just as a Major League Baseball is a focus in the sports nowadays, Little Leagues across the country are wrapping it up. We told you about the Torrance Little League going through financial hardships after someone in the organization embezzled money. Well, the start of the season was a great one. Let's now go ahead and see how the improvements at the field fared in the festival-like atmosphere on closing day. On closing day for Torrance Little League, financial hardships are a thing of the past, as most of the new training facilities have been completed, batting cages, pitching mounds, and even Wi-Fi available for those that need it. And of course, the barbecue pits were used all season long, and especially on closing day. The Little Leaguers were enjoying themselves, whether or not it was the water slide in the outfield or a chance to make a great pitch. There are other memories that these baseball players will cherish more than the fun festivities on closing day, like getting your trophy for winning the championship, and maybe some other announcements.
That I got announced for All-Stars. Getting our names announced for Torrance All-Stars.
It's not just the young ball players who enjoyed this day. The coaches get in the action too.
Best part today was picking up our championship trophies. That was pretty fun.
Championship trophy or not, Little League is definitely full of good memories. And Pittsburgh Pirate Noah Martin fills us in on his favorite part.
My favorite moment was when we got the double play and then we started running and got a dog pile.
With the new training facilities in place and active parents and board members who know every detail, the future of Torrance Little League is bright. Thanks out to Torrance Little League President Steve Gottlieb for helping us out here on the Sports Desk. To find out more information, visit their website, torrancelittleleague.com. It'll take you to the Easy Team website and it will give you more information. To give us more information on maybe some summer camps you've got coming up, please give us a call here at the Sports Desk, 310-618-5762. You can email us at thesportsdesk@torranceca.gov. And you can view all of our shows online at torranceca.gov, as well as all the shows from 2010 and 2011 are on YouTube. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of the Sports Desk. Just a note to you viewers, we are on the summer schedule, which means the shows run for 2 weeks straight. You can go ahead and check out all the Torrance and North High highlights you'll want, as well as we'll be highlighting the rest of the schools, so don't forget to watch it. Till next time, Torrance, play hard.